Okie dokie, let's see. Live? I certainly hope so. We are? Oh, hot damn. I'm pretty sure that I'm live. Hello, everybody out there. It's been a while. It's been a very, very long time. Oh, I don't even know how to start this. So, I'm Devin. I previously did something called Broken Cannon, and I basically started YouTube because I thought it was a fun thing for games, and I wanted to do gaming, and then that crashed and burned, and it was admittedly pretty funny. But I wanted to get uh, back into it just because I really enjoyed it, and I shouldn't let myself going through what I'm going through, and with all the bullshit going on in the world, and I don't need to explain why. This is good to get my head off of it. So I wanted to try something different. I've been watching a lot of creators. I've been interested in getting back into YouTube, and I figured that I would start with something a little bit more basic. I'm going to try to go for an hour, and I'm going to go through some articles or videos or stuff that I just find fun, something I find interesting. So we're going to start that, and I'm going to start that with something. Well, I haven't read any of these. I've clicked on them because I thought that they were interesting. So we're going to start with this, and this is actually from somewhere Canada, my home. Manitoba government spends over $800,000 on self-isolation units for homeless. Meals for Manitoba's isolating. This sounds based as fuck. So I'm just 400K is earmarked for isolation units. People who are homeless tested positive for COVID-19. Government's working hard. Because this can't be the premier, because the premier's a fucking idiot. Press conference, public health officials. Yeah, this is the public health department. I've been surprised. Oh, hold on. NDP, also critical status of women called squires. Paltry? That's why there's people sleeping in it. Well, absolutely, you're correct. Party urges the Pallister government to draft a report how we'll care for First Nations. Care. Yeah, Pallister's been handling this pretty badly. He hasn't exactly gone about COVID well. I know there's a lot of other places in Canada that have been fantastic in comparison. But enough about my silly country. Actually, one of the videos I wanted to look at later was Mitch McConnell calls Marjorie Taylor Greene embrace of conspiracy theories a cancer on Republicans. This is a funny title because Republicans are cancer. No, Republicans are cancer. Green struck back at McConnell. The cancer is the Republican Party and weak Republicans who only know how to lose gracefully. Said that Monday conspiracy theories was a cancer on the party. Yeah. Denying that school shootings took place. Yeah, because she's denying school shootings. She's a QAnon supporter, which means that she's basically, if I remember correctly, QAnon is people trying to stop pedophiles. But if you're trying to stop pedophiles, Jeffrey Epstein had ties to basically every single party. So, I don't like this lady. Every time she talks, it sounds like she's just literally just saying whatever comes to her mind without actually thinking about it or doing any research or looking into anything. And my stance on QAnon is basically the same as it's always been, which is that QAnon is quite literally been wrong about absolutely everything. Like, literally everything. Like, this lady has... So, partisan majority vote, pass, Democrats hold, that makes it far easier for a separate effort. Render her nearly powerless, and that's the intent of... Oh, hold on. Resolution. Hold up. introduced a resolution to remove her from the Education and Budget Committee. Oh, I see. So they're trying to kick her out and take all of her power away. Well, yeah. That's what happens when you literally... Because what was that video? It was her... Oh, no. It was her hassling David Hogg? Green supporter online climbs. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was David Hogg. Give me a second. Marjorie Taylor Greene. David Hogg. Yeah, video surfaces of Marjorie. Oh, it's CNN. Well, it's the video that I care about. I don't care about CNN. Like, I don't care that it's CNN just because I want the video. Where's the video? Called Hogg Little Hitler. Oh my god. He's a fucking kid. I don't know how old David Hogg is, but he's like, he literally was a kid when this happened. No, this isn't the video. Where's the video? Video. It's interesting, all the ones that have this at the top. MSNBC, CNN. Ugh. Did they take it down? Acknowledges Partling shoot.
Breaking news this afternoon, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor admitting that her school shooting after her harassment of Parkland survivor David Hogg.
I looked up his age before I talked to him, found out he was the legal adult. And so that's why I talked to him. And I told him, you have no idea what you're doing. These type of bills would leave Americans defenseless. These are not red flag incidences. They are not fake. And it's terrible, the loss that these families go through and their friends as well. And it should never happen. And it doesn't have to happen if we would protect our children properly.
Honestly, she thinks he's literally making up a school shooting. You've not received. Oh, okay. And now, hold on. What is this? YouTube is not receiving enough video. Yeah. Oh, of course there was going to be technical issues. Whatever, let me just give me a second here. Take a look and see what is going the heck on. Because for some reason we're going a little slow. Viewers will experience buffering. Okay, well, check the video resolution. Of course there's technical. Of course this is my first one going in a while, so obviously technical difficulties. Do I change? You know what? Fuck it, this is my first go. Whatever, let's just keep going. Let's just keep trying.
We should note that NBC News did not review the social media post that began this firestorm. Green has called the reporting on her alleged posts a hit piece, saying others have managed her social media profiles. Joining me now is NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Haake. Nevertheless,
I gotta stop looking at my stream health.
Capitol Hill correspondent Garrett Haake. Nevertheless, NBC News did not review the social media post that began this firestorm. Green has called the reporting on her alleged posts a
It's called a payoff to keep his mouth shut with a false black. Oh my god. These people believe in Pizzagate. Even though Pizzagate was false. Literally factually incorrect.
Have managed her social media profiles. Joining me now is NBC News Capitol Hill.
Oh yeah, sure. Others have done your news. Others have been handling your media profiles. Right, your personal Facebook account that you personally used. You know, Sorry, that was a bit of Coke ASMR for people out there. Not sponsored. No
correspondent
chance. No
Garrett
chance.
Haig. Nevertheless, this does appear to be a change in tone. And if you believe what we have read about these social media posts, again, we have not verified them. It is a change in her story. We don't.
Yeah, because she's lying. Like she's literally just making shit up as she goes. She's literally going, "Oh yeah, it's fake. It's a false flag. Everything is false." And then when actually questioned by it, she's like, "Well, I never said that. I don't know what you're talking about."
don't know, but it does come at about motivation, but it does come at a time when there's increasing pressure to take some action against her, even among Republicans, right?
I'm stopping this. This is a terrible video.
That's right. So I think what you saw here was a little bit of cleanup on what had become perhaps the single most problematic element of Representative Greene's sort of broad commentary about various issues that had gotten her in trouble here. This is McCarthy and the
Do nothing. Oh, don't do nothing. Get rid of her. She's a terrible person. Okay. Show must go on. And we're moving on to this one. Lindsey Graham warns Democrats against calling witnesses in Trump impeachment. You'll open up Pandora's box if you call one witness. If that's not an admission of just absolute hilarious proportion, I don't know what is. By the way, if you call one person, if you get one person up there, it's going to just become a shitstorm and everything's going to fall apart. Isn't that what we want? Isn't that the whole point of this stupid fucking charade? God. I mean, he was funny, but Jesus fucking Christ. Did not mention Trump even before the election with his supporters into a lie-filled frenzy about voter fraud. Yeah, voter fraud's been a thing. Well, it was a thing. Are they really still, honestly going on about the voter fraud? You did 60 fucking lawsuits. And you didn't win. Well, I think they won one? I've heard a few different things. I think it was either 1 or 3 out of 60, which is not a great one. I hope we don't call any and vote up the trial the next week when it starts. Yeah, because I also remember when this guy said something like, what was it during the last one? Why are we here? They ran the impeachment hearing. They're like, why are we even here? Why are we doing this? It doesn't make any sense, right? Why are we even bothering with this stuff? I'm still on poor. Give me a second. Are they really still, honestly going on about the voter fraud? You did 60 fucking lawsuits. And you didn't win. Well, I think they won one? I've heard a few different things. I think it was I'm just a little far back. All right. No, that's good. I mean, it's not good, but whatever. In this case, I actually wanted to pull up a video. YouTube video. It's something I haven't watched yet, and I wanted to watch it. And it's topical. How Republicans... I love Cody here. I do. Cody's hilarious and fantastic. Ooh. And I have not yet watched this one in particular, so...
Hello! Welcome to the first post-inauguration edition of Some More...
I'm glad he got the old background back. I think that his whole thing was a little intense, but I like it. I love it a lot. I don't think I could go as hard as Cody does, as often as he does, but it's a great character that he plays. Oh.
More news. I need to be blunt with you all right now, all right? No bull.
No, we're blunt. Hold on. Oh, and as I have no camera and you can't see, because I also live in Canada, we have very fortunately legalized the marijuana. Legalized stuff. I'm sure I talked about this before on previous streams. Let's just Yeah, that's the stuff. All right, let's just chill out. Let's watch some Cody.
We're
Let's
starting the
watch some more
Biden
news.
administration with some hard truths. I had this whole episode planned about Donald Trump pardoning Joe Exotic, how Carol Baskin fed her husband
Oh
to some...
shit! I hope he goes into this. But what was it? Is it Lil Wayne? Hold on. Who got the Trump pardon? Hold on a second. Pardons. Yeah, I think it was Lil Wayne. It was Lil Wayne. Yes. Yeah, it was. Hold on a second. Oh. Trump pardoned Lil Wayne, Kodak Black. So I hope they put it in. So he pled guilty. He went to prison, weapon despite being a convicted felon. Following that. So yeah, he was a convicted felon. He owned a gun. I'm not surprised. He's a rapper. He owns guns and drugs. Like, okay, sure, whatever. He told Carter the gun was a Father's Day gift. Honestly, I kind of believe that. Let's see, because I don't know how it's gonna go into it. No, it doesn't, because that's such a shame. Because I read through the person who petitioned Trump for it was Snoop. It was Snoop Dogg. Oh my god. Fucking Snoop Dogg swooping in, taking advantage of Trump here and being like, hey man, you want to let my buddy out of prison? I'll smoke a blunt with you. Oh, sorry. I was just talked about Joe Exotic. I just thought, that's right. Snoop rolls into the White House, wreathed in a cloud of vapor. My nizzle. I'm here to strike a deal. And Trump's like, oh no, what is happening? I don't understand. That's not true. I'm sure Snoop and Trump knew each other before.
Some ravenous tigers, the insidious ways in which this led Taco Bell to take the 7-layer burrito off its menu, and how Ghislaine Maxwell has the proof of this international conspiracy. But of course, Donald Trump ignored the cries of millions of Americans from 9 months ago and refused to give Joe Exotic the justice he deserved. So I had to scrap the whole dang episode and start over. Honestly, I was stumped about what to talk about this week, since social media has ruined my ability to think about anything that isn't directly in my face at this very minute. Camera!
Jesus fucking Christ, I feel that. One of the reasons I'm doing this, I'm just trying to do something. Oh.
But yeah, if Van Jones isn't crying about it on CNN, it means literally nothing to me. Fortunately, my writers and producers have been keeping notes in this book called Every Horrible Thing in the World. It's sort of like the Bible, but about true things that actually happened, instead of cheerful anecdotes about how you'll get struck by lightning if you perform oral sex. Ooh. Anyway, I flipped through the book for a few hours after testing out the oral sex thing, and realized that yes, things are bad out there. For instance, did you know that Rand Paul is still allowed on television?
Paul, let me begin with a threshold question for you. This election was not stolen. Do you accept that fact?
Nope. Yes, the election was not stolen. I know I live north, but no, the election was not stolen. Absolutely not. He won the popular vote. Through the same methods Trump won the Electoral College, he won the Electoral College. Biden is president. I love the copium. I just love this. I want to just this look on the guy's face.
Well, what I would say is that the debate over whether or not there was fraud should occur. We never had any presentation.
There was a debate. There were 60 court cases, and you lost all of them.
In court where we actually looked at the evidence, most of the cases were thrown out for lack of standing, which is a procedural way of not actually hearing the question. There were several states.
They were thrown out for lack of evidence. They didn't have the claims you were making were not substantiated enough to even make it there. Like you've claimed in court it's not fraud, because of course it's illegal to lie to a judge. But it's not illegal to lie on national television, for some reason. So this fucking guy and all the other assholes get on TV and they go, oh, fucking election was stolen, millions of ballots, jumps, blah, blah, blah. And they just, throw bullshit at the wall. And then when they actually have to stand in front of a federal judge and present evidence to prove it, all of a sudden, all of their claims go from the entire election was destroyed to, well, we think that maybe having a ballot box in a public location might have allowed some people to maybe put some ballots in there that might not have been actually legal. Do you have any evidence that this occurred? No, but we think it could have. I mean, come fucking on. Jesus fucking Christ.
In which the law was changed by the Secretary of State and not the state legislature. To me, those are clearly unconstitutional. And I think there's still a chance that those actually do finally work their way up to the Supreme Court. Courts traditionally and historically don't like to hear election questions. But yes, were there people who voted twice? Were there dead people who voted? Were there illegal aliens who voted? Yes, and we should get to the bottom of it.
How do you know that? We should get to the bottom of it? You haven't found any. Like, you might have a couple of anecdotes, but there's not this huge swath of ballots just fucking sitting there somewhere. Like, nobody has them. Shut the fuck up and move on. Joe Biden is president. Get over it.
Paul, a man so desperate to get Donald Trump's sloppy seconds after he had his way with the Republican Party, has hitched his wagon to propagating the unfounded conspiracy theory that the 2020 presidential election was a total fraud, fixed, rigged, stolen! Okay, this isn't as exciting as, say, Carol Baskin getting the 7-layer taken off the Taco Bell menu, but whatever, it's still not good. See, Rand Paul can't run a go-nowhere presidential campaign on the Donald Trump fraud story alone. He also has to be at least a wee bit racist to really get that sweet fascist mojo going.
But also, with a mandatory minimum wage of $15, even the government says that nearly 4 million people will lose their jobs. And the people who lose their jobs first when you hike up the minimum wage are black teenagers. So,
I'm going to guess a few things in this video. I haven't seen it, but I know a bit about minimum wage. So, if you hike up the minimum wage, yes, like the price of things is gonna go up. From the data I've seen, that is only about 30 cents on the dollar. And that's like a worst case scenario, because in Denmark, I don't even think goods are like $1 more in terms of like basic prices, because at McDonald's, right, you've got $22 minimum wage there and a McDonald's worker, and I'm pretty sure the burgers are only like $1 more expensive, because it's not about how much, it's not about how big the economy is, it's about how dynamic it is. It's about how that money moves through and around and circulates. It's not, if you just have a bunch of billionaires sitting on money, it doesn't help. Like, it's not useful at all. Because a lot of these companies will just siphon as much profit up as they can and then leave the worker paid as absolutely little as they can possibly get away with paying them. I'm assuming Cody's.
Why does Joe Biden hate black teenagers should be the question. Why does Joe Biden want to destroy all of these jobs?
Yes! Why does Joe Biden hate black teenagers? Why does Joe Biden sit on his porch all day, sipping warm beer and muttering racial slurs? More importantly, why did he decide to risk his life for that Southeast Asian kid who tried to steal his car? I'm sorry. I have this habit of mixing up Joe Biden and Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino. Also, mixing up the Southeast Asian kid trying to steal a car with police trying to take your car thanks to civil asset forfeiture, a practice popular in America by Joe Biden. But anyway.
Yeah, no, civil asset forfeiture is bullshit. Oh my fucking god. Like, you're a criminal? Oh, let's just take all of your money. Like, wait, but do I get a trial? No. Well, shit. Oh, okay then.
You see the resemblance, right? The wispy gray hairs? The erotic magnetism? The 1,000-yard stare that says, "How did I get here? And where is the bathroom?" Rand Paul must have that same problem if he thinks Joe Biden hates black teenagers. I mean, sure, maybe, but if so, it has nothing to do with raising the minimum wage. That is such a disingenuous, inflammatory statement that has no basis in reality, which seems to be the entirety of the Republican platform these days. Their whole thing is pulling an I know you are, but what am I? To every Democratic criticism imaginable. Liberals say Republicans are a group of craven, spineless wieners beholden to an authoritarian cartoon. So in turn, Republicans label Democrats as the actual authoritarian. And sure, Democrats are indeed spineless wieners, but they're
It's fascism. It's literally a fascist tactic. It's what you do. You accuse the enemy of what you're guilty of. That way everyone's constantly staring at them and nobody's staring at you. Or if you start calling them, a rapist or a pedophile, well, then, or, a communist, apparently everybody is, then when they turn around and throw words at you, it's just like, oh, you're just insult slinging. When you literally have evidence of things like that. Yes, Donald Trump, absolutely. Pedophile. Rapist. So's Bill Clinton.
beholden to their donors, not Donald Trump. Huzzah! You say conservatives are racist, they come back with, no, actually, you, in fact, are the racist, good sir. And not because of the bipartisan war on drugs or anything like that, but because paying people more money for their work is racist. When this is the level of discourse in America, words mean nothing. They're just words and sloughs splibbling from our mouths. Republicans think that they can just confuse voters so much that their heads explode, like Captain Kirk giving Mark Zuckerberg a logic problem. Now, before we get into this minimum wage discussion, I would like to point out that we're filming this on the day of the whole GameStop hedge fund stock debacle. So while we won't be getting into that right now, it's
wait.
helpful moving forward to know that money is fake.
Yes.
We made it up.
Yes.
It's all bullshit. We could give more of it to people to live.
It's a little more complicated than that, Cody. But I agree. Like I do agree that it's a little bit more complicated than that. You can't just print money. I know that sounds stupid, but you can't. If you just print infinite money, you'll go into absolute and ridiculous hyperinflation. Like, no, absolutely not. Don't just do that. But yes, money is fake. We did make it up.
So far, billionaires made $3.9 trillion during the pandemic. Globally, workers lost $3.7 trillion during the pandemic. Complete nonsense. Anyway.
It's almost like those numbers are linked somehow. Gee, I wonder why.
Let's talk about what raising the minimum wage to $15 measly fucking dollars actually means. But before we do that, let's talk about what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean you hate black teenagers. In 2019, 3/5 of all jobs paying at or below federal minimum wage in America were in a sector called leisure and hospitality, which is a bureaucratic way of describing making food and drinks for a living. Back in 2013, the average age of a fast food worker was 29. At that time, 40% of fast food workers were over the age of 25. In 2020, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that only 16.6% of fast food workers were black. To the surprise of all racists, 72%.
Okay, I love you, Cody. I think I need to go a little faster on. Let's just go to 1.5.
Of fast food workers were white, and 100% of them are upset that Taco Bell got rid of the 7-layer burrito. But let's not get sidetracked here. Rand Paul's idea that black teenagers will be laid off in droves by a federally mandated living wage is a scare tactic that doesn't even take into account why a teenager, of all people, would desperately need to work in food service. When I was a young Cody, I got a job bussing tables to develop good habits and learn the value of an honest job. Also to save up to buy a Sega Saturn, which, by the way, didn't even have any good games. I should have gotten a PlayStation at GameStop, like all of my other friends. But you don't see me crying about it, do you?
PlayStation's base as fuck. No, I just don't. I don't like it. I don't.
Or dwelling on it decades later? Do you? Put another way, I had a job as a teenager to buy crap I didn't need. Sure, I was excited to play a game called Corpse Killer Graveyard Edition, but I didn't need to play Corpse Killer Graveyard Edition.
And we can't win with air power alone. In any future conflict, we've got to have a large force of ground troops, American boys, in harm's way to gain control of that region. And Congress won't let us do that. That's why America is the laughingstock of the world.
Yes.
That's not why America is the laughingstock of the world. Oh, sorry.
I beat that game in 3 days, and I didn't enjoy it one bit. But that's what getting a job as a teenager should be all about. Buying video games, not earning money to pay the rent. The implication of Rand Paul's statement flirts with the notion that black teenagers are supporting their families with minimum wage jobs, also known as page 79 of the book Every Horrible Thing in the World, which is available for pre-order at Barnes & Noble if those even still exist, featuring an introduction by Henry Kissinger, who is somehow still alive. In the warped calculus...
Is that true? I actually want to know, is that true? Is Henry Kissinger still alive? It doesn't say. Man, this guy had a huge. Holy shit. Yeah, no, he's still going. Here's 2016. Jesus Christ. Time was not kind to you, my man. Jesus Christ, what a life. Holy shit. I actually don't know as much about Mr. Kissinger as I probably should. I did more biology, chemistry than I did physics.
Of American capitalism. It's better for people to work multiple jobs, starve, live out of their car, or, best case scenario, cram 5 people into a 1-bedroom apartment, than run the risk of maybe, possibly, having a corporation shed 4 million jobs they'd probably cut anyway to maximize profits. Republicans scare you with the worst possible outcome, then go back to cutting taxes on the sale of the $750,000 watch that reminds you to be horny.
I mean, like, do you need a reminder? Really? I mean, let's say I lust aggress your body. Maybe that's more base than I'm giving it credit for. Holy shit.
I don't need that reminder, thank you very much.
I don't blame you. I don't need that reminder either. Remember to go jerk it. Remember to go pump the one-eyed snake. No, I don't need reminders.
Why do corporations get away with posting record profits while claiming they can't afford to pay people what they need to live with something resembling dignity? Why do corporations like McDonald's claim that $15 an hour would make them raise their prices when a place with similar prices is able to pay $15 an hour? To understand all of this, we have to go all the way back to the creation of the federal minimum wage in 1938. Ooh. The Great Depression pushed America the closest it ever got to true democratic socialism. Thanks to the concerted efforts of an energized workers' movement goading the Democratic Party into action, the FDR administration passed a series of government-funded programs designed to rescue the economy called the New Deal.
Yep.
The New Deal is one of those things your grandparents reminisce about, but don't actually understand, like milk deliveries, the stick shift, or swing music. The New Deal era created all...
Was that electro swing or was that actual? 'Cause it sounded pretty
All
electric.
kinds of great things we take for granted now, like Social Security and the federal minimum
if
wage.
so, Caravan
the
Palace
Fair Labor
bill.
Standards Act of 1938 set a minimum wage of 25 cents. It also mandated that any work over 40 hours was considered overtime. It also got rid of child labor, which means if a 9-year-old is making your sneakers, it isn't in the good old US of A, pal. Or it's your child making sneakers for you specifically for some reason. The minimum wage crept up throughout the remainder of the 20th century, accounting for...
Seems like a... If my kid managed to successfully create a pair of sneakers, I suppose I would, I'd be okay with that.
For inflation and the rising cost of living in America. From 1961 to 1981, it increased almost every year. So what changed in 1981?
Is that Reagan? Is that where this is going? Is it Reagan? Did Reagan fuck it up?
Ronald Reagan, of course.
Yeah! Ronald fucking Reagan.
Putrid saint of the conservative movement himself successfully turned the idea of paying people a fair wage into a culture war wedge issue instead of a duty of the republic. The minimum wage stagnated at $3.35 an hour for his entire presidency.
Wait. In $3.35 an hour in the 80s. Jesus, America, get your shit together, man.
I mean, why raise the minimum wage when everyone has MTV? Cocaine is free, and there's a Datsun in every driveway. Besides,
you guys got free cocaine? Okay, maybe I jumped to conclusions too quickly. Maybe I judged you too harshly.
Besides, Ronald Reagan was a real leader, concerned about big issues of the day.
I said that we needed a rebirth of an American tradition of leadership of that kind, because the United States of America is unique in world history. It has a genius for leaders of many leaders on many levels.
Ah, yes. We have all the leaders, don't we, folks? You could say America leads the world in leaders, the most leaders per capita on the planet. What does this totally epic leader have planned for the nation this time?
And I know we all know that there is one simple measure that will save thousands of young lives that are in the drinking age. If we raise the drinking age, I should say, to 21.
Hold the phone, Chief. I'm pretty sure that after wiping the leaking brain matter from his nose, Mr. Small Government told my 16-year-old son, Nestor, and millions of children just like him, that he can't get drunk if he so chooses? How else is Nestor going to unwind after a hard day's work rinsing the goo off of tables of Panera Bread? Shame on you, Mr. Reagan.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with the whole raising the drinking age to 21 thing. Honestly, I think it's 25 is the point in time where your brain is technically developed. If you're going to have a system where you're like, no, you can't drink or smoke or do drugs or certain things like that until you've hit this point in your life, then you'd want something like, kind of specific, something directly and particularly associated with neuroscience, something that's based in fact, not something that's just arbitrary. You picked it just because it's a number and it's what made you feel comfortable. Give me a second. I'm going to check the health of the stream. We seem to be doing okay here, but I'm just going to check how I'm doing.
Measure that will save thousands of young lives that are in the drinking age.
It also made when everyone has MTV. Cocaine is...
I suppose I would, I'd be okay with that.
For inflation and the rising cost of living in America. From 1961 to 1981, it increased almost every year. So what changed in 1981?
Is that Reagan? Is that where this is going? Is it Reagan? Did Reagan fuck it up?
Ronald Reagan, of course.
Yeah! Okay. It seems like we're doing okay. It's a little buffery, but Things going all right.
The 80s were the true flowering of the Republican mandate to ignore the malfeasance of big business while simultaneously conjuring up panic about the downfall of society. This was the era of dare and just say no, distracting us.
Oh, the drug war has always been bullshit. It's always been an excuse. You want a solution to the drug problem? You want something absolutely magnificent and beautiful and based and just every adjective, poggers every adjective under the thing. Decriminalize all drugs. I'm not joking. Do it. Decriminalize all drugs. Portugal did it, and it worked. They have regulations. You can't just get anything, but like it's not criminal to be a drug user there. It's not a joke. Absolutely, it's fantastic, and apparently it's worked really, really well for them. So yeah, unironically, yes.
From deregulation and vulture capitalism. While Ronald Reagan was raising the drinking age and not raising the minimum wage, he was also pushing a variety of tax reform bills that gutted the national government's revenue and in large part led to the 1990 recession. Conservatives might wag their finger at this idea and say that the reason for that recession was because George H.W. Bush raised the minimum wage by 45 cents in April of 1990.
Oh yeah, because that's what caused a complete economic contraction and recession, raising the minimum wage by 45 cents. Yeah, sure. Okay, right. Yeah, pull the other one. It's got bells on it.
That would mean the entire economy cratered in 3 months because of 45 cents an hour. If that's true, which it isn't, but if it is, maybe that's a problem, huh? If that's true, which it isn't, maybe we have a truly f***ed up, precarious system in place, huh? Since 1990, the minimum wage has been raised 7 times. 7 times in 30 years. It hasn't been raised since 2009. All because Republicans are so good at frightening people, and specifically white people. The electorate that Rand Paul craves so much, the one that continues to power the GOP's blight on this world, is predominantly white and terrified at the upward mobility of minorities. This is despite the fact that the vast—
Why you gotta be so scared? Why you gotta be so scared? Relax, man. Holy shit.
Vast majority of American workers who earn at or below minimum wage are white. Aw, heck. Rand Paul.
What a shock. The majority of people in the country, you know, I'm pretty sure white people are still technically the largest amount or the largest ethnicity of people in the United States by a fairly wide margin. No, you're telling me the majority also has the majority of unemployed people? What a fucking shock.
Paul knows what he's doing when he starts talking about black teenagers, like he somehow cares about them.
Or has even ever met one for more than 30 seconds.
He knows unemployed young black teenager is code for criminal in this country. He knows that—
True. Holy fucking shit, is that true? Canada has its own version of that. It's not black people, but yeah, that's absolutely horrible code.
That besides racism, the other guiding principle of the United States is selfishness. The same selfishness that makes people flaunt COVID mask regulations in the name of personal freedom.
Absolutely true. 100%. Flawless.
Our collective terror at the thought that someone could possibly get something we didn't is why there's opposition to wiping out student loan debt. It's why the average person has to subsidize miserly corporations through food stamps and unemployment insurance while they callously lay off employees and duck their own tax responsibilities. There's a Lyndon Johnson quote that's so popular and so prescient that Snopes had to assure people that it's actually real. He said, quote, "If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you."
I have seen that quote and I I've also seen this Futurama comparison. But yeah, no, I've seen that quote, and it's still shocking. It's like the Nixon aid quote. It's just one of those things that tells you so much about the people who wrote that stuff.
Yeah, that'll show those poor.
Why are you cheering, Fry? You're not rich.
True, but someday I might be rich.
And then people like me better watch out.
People
Yeah.
like me better watch their step.
Every day, Republican bottom feeders like Rand Paul aim to convince Americans to vote against their best interests by peddling lies and dog whistle racism. This country's economic system is in shambles. Millions of people live.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Don't break anything. Ooh. Sorry about that. All right. Let's get back to this. All right, let's go.
Live on the streets. The Republican Party has no answer for that because they don't care. And corporations are more.
Oh, true, absolutely. Why would they care? It's the same with Democrats. They really don't care as long as they get to keep their jobs. They don't care. Oh. I love democracy, but holy shit, is it a clusterfuck sometimes.
More than happy to profit from that callousness. In 2013, McDonald's created an information website with Visa, imploring their workers living at the poverty line to get a second job and shut off their heat. There's literally a
Oh yeah, that's a rational solution to the problem. Well, just get another job and don't have to be warm. It always frustrates me when you see the whole, no, all a millennial has to do to fucking solve their problems is just stop eating the avocado toast. All you have to do is just get another job and cut all the things. It's like, fucking no. What is it, the McDonald's? Was it McDonald's? I think it was McDonald's. Give me a second. Yeah, here it is. It's the McDonald's and Visa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this one. This is what he's talking about. It's you can live on $8.25 an hour. Unfortunately, it includes second income and no heat. And only $600 for rent. Holy fucking shit. No, you can totally do it. You have $800. You only have to spend $27 a day. It's easy. Just only live in a place where you can afford to spend $600, have no rent, only spend $20 an hour on health insurance. Most of this is ridiculous. Most of this is just utterly absurd. Like cable and phone, maybe. I don't have a car, so I wouldn't know about car payments, but I know that this is dumb. I live in Canada, and that's insane. So yeah, I have to imagine that in America, $600 on rent is way smaller than what it probably normally would be.
CNBC video on this very platform titled, "Here Are Both Sides of the $15 Minimum Wage Debate."
Opponents point to a Congressional Budget Office report that found raising the minimum wage to $15 would give some 17 million Americans a raise, but result in as many as 1.3 million job losses potentially. Low-skilled workers, teenagers could be the hardest hit.
Okay. Hot take here. If upping the minimum wage to $15 actually honestly made it so that your business had to close a bunch of jobs, then fuck you. Like, actually fuck you. You're running on a shitty business platform.
Companies could be motivated to raise prices, cut hours, and potentially automate.
Always two sides, huh? On one side, there's people who want to help each other. On the other side are Republicans. Now that we've all collectively decided to punt the whole punishing politicians for inciting an insurrection issue, we have to get back to the business of raising the Titanic that is this fucking country. But that isn't going to get Rand Paul elected president, because the most selfish people in a nation of psychic vampires are politicians.
So you quit getting screwed up the butt every time one of them highfalutin politicians up there fuck up the budget or spend money wrong so they can raise taxes and keep taking care of you. I'm broke as shit, and I don't mind saying it.
And not just Republican politicians, because on the non-Republican side, you have a...
Should I watch Tiger King? Comment under this. Should I watch Tiger King? Because I absolutely need... I think I would like it. I think I would enjoy Tiger King. It sounds hilarious.
Party seemingly terrified of wielding actual power, or swinging for the fences to help people, or communicating to people why something is actually good. For example, we needed a $15 minimum wage more than a decade ago for it to be a living wage. So, given everything else we've said here today...
Yeah, that's what I saw. So, because it's directly tied to productivity, or at least it should be tied to productivity in a vague sense. Because it's the chart where you have the minimum wage and where it's gone, and then how productivity has soared and profits have soared. I think it was 60% of the median income is what is considered good. I think. I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 60%.
Proposing to raise it to $15 over the next 5 years seems insufficient. Speaking of messaging, if you're worried about businesses having to pay people more, maybe it's good to support single-payer healthcare so employers don't have to provide healthcare to their workers, and then healthcare isn't tied to employment, so an unemployment crisis and public health crisis won't feed into each other. But at least they're doing something, yeah? They're not the bad guys. They're just not your friends. They're the good bad guys. Every little bit helps, after all. A phrase used to make it seem like even better things are unattainable, and the crumbs you're getting are good enough. But anyway, this isn't about how Democrats are dog shit, because hey, raising the minimum...
Because yes, Democrats are dog shit. Like, absolutely. What happens when you have a corporate party and a corporate party?
Wage is good. And there's only one party that doesn't want to do that even a little bit. After all...
Yeah, don't get me wrong, they're absolutely better than Republicans.
This video is actually about Donald Trump not pardoning Joe Exotic. You know, one last gut punch out the door from the old orange man. What a terrible world we live in, where justice remains so elusive. Joe Exotic brought so much joy to our lives in our darkest moment. What with that hilarious throuple wedding and those silly clothes. Oh, and the catchphrases, such wonderful catchphrases like,
okay,
hi.
I think this is just... Yeah, no, okay, it's just the bit at the end. Okay, that was pretty good. Honestly, I prefer more data when he brings it. I prefer when he just goes hard. It's like a 45-minute long video, just full of shit. But that was pretty good. Base video from Cody. Okay, I've actually almost been going for an hour. You know what? I'm gonna keep going. I'm enjoying myself. Let's take a look at another thing. It's nowhere near as politically charged as this. This is just something ridiculous that I was shown. So this. I normally don't watch abridged videos. I just normally don't bother with that. That's basically why video blocked in country. That's why I don't normally watch abridged. And normally they're not funny. But I saw some of this and some of the Memories of Nobody, and it was really funny, and I wanted to go back and see it. So I'm gonna watch it on stream, and I'm gonna see how this fucking goes. Because Bleach is one of my favorite shows. Well, Bleach was one of my favorite shows. It was my favorite shonen back in the day, just because its style was amazing. And the first arc second arc is legitimately incredible. Actually, I might have to stop here. I'm just looking at the time. I've been going for an hour, but no, I am gonna have to stop. That's a shame. I will start off with this. Oh. Sorry. Messages from the wifey. Gotta. Okay. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm absolutely gonna.
A non-profit fan-based parody. Bleach is owned by Type Kubo, Viz Media, Studio Pierrot, and TV Tokyo. Please support the official release.
I sense an explosion!
It's always explosions with you. Why can't we...
No, and yes, support the official release. Watch Bleach. All payment to the creators. Absolutely.
It's an explosion!
It's always explosions with you. Why can't we just have a nice...
Am I off my meds? I don't remember having to take meds, but I feel like I take meds and I didn't. Yeah,
I do not remember the animation quality being this bad in the early Bleach. This is very much shows its age of 90s.
Need to get back on those meds that don't exist.
You know, yeah, you need meds, man. You're absolutely fucked up. Hot take. If you start seeing giant monsters walking around in the street and people in kimonos, oh no, they're not called kimonos. What are they called? I don't remember. The Shinigami uniforms have a particular name. I just can't remember. Shihakusho? Something like that. But if you see someone dressed in that, fighting a sword, fighting giant monsters, go to a doctor. Okay? Don't stand there and stare at them. Don't start screaming at people around you. Go seek medical attention. Why did it start? Also stopping copyright. No, it's not like this would be heavily monetized.
We've been at this all afternoon. You promised me food.
I promised lots of things when my sanity and worldview are called into question. The heck are you? The heck was that big stupid?
It was a hollow. I'm a soul reaper.
Elaborate, please!
Chocolate, please.
You'll get chocolate when I conclude that I'm not losing my goddamn mind. The heck?
That seems like a fair trade. Seems like a good trade.
Are you though? What are your powers?
Oh man, I must be magic or something.
Are you though? Are you though? Are you some kind of wizard knight? Are you some kind of radioactive ghost? Are you a radioactive wizard ghost? The explanation doesn't matter. Just give me something to attach to.
Wizard ghost. Is there a shonen where there are wizard ghosts? Because Fairy Tail is wizards. Yu Yu Hakusho is ghosts. I feel like I'd remember if there were wizard ghosts. Though it does sound like something anime would do.
You can see ghosts, can't you?
Yeah, ghosts. Not Godzilla in ghost form.
You don't have chocolate, do you?
No, I'm not into sweets. Only the sweet, sinful taste of Red Bull. The chick would rather cast a fucking arcane binding spell than tell me why she can cast arcane binding spells.
Going home.
I don't care.
Huh? Whoa!
I don't care. Yeah. No, you wouldn't. No, man. No, you wouldn't have brought it if you didn't care.
What? A hollow's trying to eat your family!
How did we not hear that happen?
I don't know!
Oh, that's cool!
What are you
It's a very good question. It was full of very good questions.
doing? Don't you know the kind of danger you're in?
As I seem to be lacking basically all context, no, in fact I don't.
At least tell me what you plan to do.
Hello, Kettle. My name's Pod. Nice to meet you. Additionally, I'm gonna need these arms.
What do you mean? How did you do that?
I'm coming, Corey!
How did you do that?
I don't think they ever explain that. I don't think they explain how he does that. So far for an abridged, this hasn't been like laugh out loud funny, but to be fair, DBZA was pretty bad in its early episodes.
If he broke my keto?
Well, that is not nearly as funny as they got later. Because some late DBZA is fucking hilarious. But I'll watch a couple episodes.
This guy may be ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, that's about right.
Or, the opposite.
Yep.
Hey, big guy. Let's talk about this.
Die!
Gotcha, Corey!
Let's recap, shall we? I'm the radioactive wizard knight, and you're some punk who broke my keto by fluke. In the future, listen to what I say and stay down.
In the future? How long are you planning on being here?
In the future, do what I fucking tell you to do, bitch.
Here.
I've been assigned to watch your Crummy Town, so several of your lifetimes.
Crummy Town?
I've seen 2 hollows in one day. Crummy Town is putting it mildly. Behind me. Do I stutter?
Listen, Godzilla!
What is that?
This has been one hell of a first day.
It was your first day? I know everyone has to have a first day, but why is your first day my problem?
Oh my god, shut up. In a second, that hollow is gonna come back and finish me off. Then you—
Except that sword. I'm stuck in it. But if I let that thing kill me, maybe I'll wake up. But if it is real and that thing kills me, then I die, actually. But if it is a delusion, then my family's gonna be stuck caring for a sick, broken man outside. Because I chose to live within the delusion.
Time is of the essence. Down the rabbit hole, please.
Alright.
I mean, honestly, in this situation, you might as well. I mean, frankly, I guess this is proven real enough. There's like, okay, fine.
Let's do this. It looks like the tables have turned in a 180-degree fashion.
Where they will stay forever until I'm brutally destroyed.
To my side.
Raise the stakes in some future fight.
Where they will stay until I kill you.
What? I only meant to give him 1/10 of my power.
I heard that. That sounds like a whole lot of your problem.
I can't back you up with keto this way.
Now it's my problem. Solution! Well, that was weird. What's a Getsuga? Why'd my brain go to Getsuga? Sword Tensou!
That was clever. I'll give it that.
That was also weird. Why did my...
What do you mean you're not gonna help me do my job? You took all my powers.
I couldn't care less right now. I don't recall saying yes, Rukia. I agree to hunt dangerous ghost Godzillas on your behalf.
You're a soul reaper.
I'm non-union.
That doesn't make sense.
Wow. That sounds like a whole lot of not my problem.
Okay. That was fairly clever for a first one. I'll give it a shot. Okay, let's see.
Amazon's CEO. And this news comes right as another story hits about Amazon essentially admitting to stealing wages. Now,
That's pretty fucked up, if that's true. And I don't remember, does Bezos own Amazon? Like, I'm assuming he has some level of ownership. That is a wonderful in between. That's great. Yeah, that's exactly where I wanted to pause.
I'm going to get to that later on in the video. I don't think the two are related. I just want to say that up front. I don't think Jeff Bezos really cares about.
They're probably somewhat related. At least I'd hope.
His public perception. I don't think the guy doesn't care. So I don't think these stories are related. But I will get to the more important story of what that is in a minute here. But first, part of what Bezos said in his announcement to Amazon employees here, I'm excited to announce that this Q3, I'll transition to executive chair of the Amazon board, and Andy Jassy will become CEO. In the exec chair role, I intend to focus my energies and attention on new products and early initiatives. Andy is well known inside the company and has been at Amazon almost as long as I have. He will be.
Oh, so he's just stepping down to an executive chair. Yeah, no. Yeah, that probably doesn't have anything to do with the other one, but
be an outstanding leader, and
he's still really, really fucked up that they basically caught stealing wages. I want to see.
He has my full confidence. Just so you know, nothing is really going to change. Amazon is a machine. It's operating the way it operates.
Yeah, no, whatever. It's just a different person at the head of the behemoth, a different rich guy at the head of the rich guy club.
Nothing will fundamentally change. Someone is taking over that he's been close with the entire time. It's going to operate the exact same way. No real changes are going to take place at Amazon. Now, Jeff Bezos here, worth $188 billion. He is number 2 on the list. Elon Musk being number 1, Bill Gates being number 3. And as AJ Plus here tweeted out, Jeff Bezos made over $90 billion.
Holy fucking shit, $90 billion. Yeah, 20,000 got COVID-19. Profiteer of the year, Jesus. Oh yeah, person who took the most money from people. Congratulations. You are the most capitalist.
Last year during the pandemic, while over 20,000 Amazon workers got COVID-19, they named him Profiteer of the Year. Yeah. This right here, in addition to
Amazon will pay nearly Fox. I found it. Got the article here. Amazon will pay nearly $62 million over outrageous practice of pocketing driver tips. The settlement with the FTC comes after Amazon allegedly used tips to subsidize base pay for independent contractors. Oh, takes to subsidize. Wow. Billion settlement with the FTC over allegation. Company used customer tips to subsidize the guaranteed hourly wages of some delivery drivers. $25 an hour plus customer tips. Earmark. So, yeah. Plus all customer tips, the entire settlement affected drivers. So, they offered them $18 to $25 an hour. The FTC surcharge payment practice to subsidize the company payments of that. So basically, they advertised for $18 to $25 an hour plus customer tips, but then took tips and just paid them the $18 to $25 an hour and didn't give them the tips. That's pretty shitty. That's real fucked up, Amazon. FTC. First in the 19, but the FTC, Amazon continued with the practice until a commission was notified the company of its investigation later that year. Yeah, it's the similar thing at DoorDash. Honestly, I should be shocked, but I'm not. It's honestly not a surprise that they're doing whatever they can to maximize their own profits, just taking whatever money that they can, because you can't stop them. You have to file a thing with the FTC.
To obviously how underpaid Amazon workers are. This shows you how they just directly stole wages. So Vox here.
yeah, based on that, they literally stole people's money.
Here, and again, this story happened just a couple hours before Jeff Bezos announced that he's stepping down. Fox with the headline here saying Amazon will pay nearly $62 million over outrageous practice of pocketing driver tips. The settlement with the Federal Trade Commission comes after Amazon allegedly used tips to subsidize base pay for independent contractors.
Yeah, because isn't it that a lot of Amazon's staff, in quotations, is independent contractors? Like most of their drivers are independent contractors, the same way that all of Lyft and oh my god, did I really forget the Uber? How did I forget Uber's name? Uber, they're all independent contractors. They're not like employees that you have to pay wages.
This is there's of course the discussion of, wage theft in the traditional sense when it comes to just how capitalism operates, but this is wage theft on top of wage theft. So showing you here exactly
I put some wage theft in your wage theft. So you can eat shit while I take your money and then take more of your money and then laugh at you.
What they did. Under a delivery program called Amazon Flex, Amazon hires independent contractors to handle deliveries of Prime Now and Amazon Fresh orders, and sometimes Amazon.com packages as well. From 2015 to 2016, the company paid these drivers $18 to $25 per hour plus customer tips. But the FTC alleges that Amazon surreptitiously changed its payment practice in late 2016 and began pocketing some customer tips to subsidize the company's payments of $18 to
Yeah, while assuring drivers they were still receiving. Yeah. So they basically just kept subsidizing the payment with tips and then saying, no, you're still getting tips. When really they were just literally just taking a bunch of the tip money.
$25 per
That's
hour
horrible.
while assuring drivers they were still receiving all their tips. So Amazon lied to their employees, told them that they were not stealing their tips, even though they were stealing their tips, and using that money to pay their wages. Now, a reminder.
I mean, the lying is kind of the incidental here. Like, if would it have been better if they had told them, yeah, we're just stealing your tips, we're taking your money.
This is not a small company. This is not a struggling business. This is Amazon, worth over $1 trillion. Jeff Bezos, worth over or almost $200 billion. Executives at the top of this company, making a ton of money. Meanwhile, here they are stealing tips as a way to pay their employees. And then you have these employees of these companies like Amazon, Walmart, not making enough money, then forced to live off the system, which of course taxpayers are paying into. So it's
not making enough money, right? Because Amazon's not making enough money, Walmart's not making enough money. Well, because it's never enough. It doesn't matter how much money they get. It doesn't matter how much give them. They will always want and demand more. That's how the system works. You need profit and you need growth constantly and forever, and that's why it's not sustainable. You can't have infinite growth forever. Sometimes shrinking things is a better solution. It's a better way to deal with the problem. Oh, okay. That is more than I wanted to do. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this. And I think I'm going to do it again. I'm going to commit to try to do this an hour a day, every day at least, if not going longer. I'm going to try to get my setup a little bit better so that I have less technical issues, but it's kind of always going to happen. There's always going to be issues. But yeah, this was fun. If you like it, please like the video, comment on it. This is definitely different from what I did before. But you know, I think I need to start with something a little bit less flooded than the gaming world is. And I think doing politics and entertainment and stuff like that's going to be different, and I think it's going to be interesting. All right.